Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures if you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds, get on a good nutritional supplement program, if you got a success story you'd like to share, if you got questions about formulations, ingredients, our true skin health products, longevity business, 844-236-6010 is our number. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised or recommended on The Bright Side, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, or sign up right off the website, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470 if you want to speak to a real live human being. Ask them about joining the longevity business for a one-time $25 fee. You can be in business for yourself, earn thank you checks associated with having your own business, help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program, all while working from home in your PJs. Working from home, making your own hours, being independent. That's what it's all about. Longevity is really all about independence. That's what longevity started out as American longevity. And Dr. Wallach called it American longevity because he loved the idea of independence, America. And he loved the idea of health, longevity, American longevity. It's about being independent in terms of your financial state, and being independent in terms of your health. That's one of the major benefits of getting on a good, solid nutritional supplement program. Now, you got to do other things too. Exercise is important, making sure you're eating correctly, avoiding bad foods, etc. But nutritional supplementation is a key component of an independence program, a freedom program from the medical model. The more you understand supplementation, the less you are going to be using prescription drugs, period. Now, as it turns out, if you're on prescription drugs, nutritional supplementation can actually make your drugs work better. In fact, if you're on prescription drugs, it's extra important to get on a good nutritional supplement program, but you will find that the more you incorporate supplementation as well as exercise and lifestyle changes into your life, the less you're going to need and the less you're going to want to be on prescription drugs. Make no mistake about it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If you are on a prescription drug long term, your number one health challenge needs to be to figure out how to wean yourself off that drug, how to get your body strong enough so you don't need that drug. I'm talking antihypertensives, I'm talking beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, talking about steroid drugs. The vast majority of the prescription drugs we take are the kind of drugs that we're on for life. Statin drugs. And there's a reason for that. Drug companies can't survive if they only made drugs for emergencies. They couldn't survive as they are. They couldn't be the trillion-dollar behemoths that they are collectively if we weren't on prescription drugs for the rest of our life as individuals. If there were nobody who was stuck on a prescription drug the rest of their life, there wouldn't be big pharma as we know it. Big pharma depends on human beings being on their products for life. And I'm telling you, that if you're on a drug for life, you got to figure out how to get off of it, because it's not only not doing you any good, it's killing you. Not literally, not figuratively, but literally. It's killing you, not figuratively, literally killing you slowly. Number one, it's toxic, and the body has to deal with it as a toxin. And number two, it's inducing and encouraging and amplifying nutritional deficiencies. How do you like that? So you may be on a drug for a condition that's caused by a nutritional deficiency in the first place. Now you're on a drug and it's causing more nutritional deficiencies. That happens all the time. Diuretics, for example. Diuretics deplete your body of the electrolytes that you need for your heart. And they give them to you for your blood pressure so you don't hurt your heart. So your heart doesn't get sick or diseased. Statin drugs deplete your body of coenzyme Q10, which is incredibly important for the heart. And they give you the statin drugs supposedly to help you with your heart. This happens all the time in much less dramatic fashion if you're on a prescription drug, just by the very fact that your body has to utilize precious detox resources, which include copper, magnesium, the B complex, zinc. You're now running vitamin C. You're now running major increased risks for deficiencies in all of these ultra-critical nutrients. So, long story short, get on a supplement program if you are on prescription drugs. Get on a supplement program if you're not. It will change your life. If you want more information on how to do it, call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. All right. We are talking about fats, my favorite subject to talk about. It's just fats are so fascinating to me and so misunderstood. There's three kinds of fats, as we've said, three kinds of fats, cholesterol, triglycerides, and then the magical phospholipids. And then we've been talking about the triglycerides, or the dietary fats, and the triglycerides, and we said there's three of these triglycerides. We said there's short, medium, and long. So you got three classes of fats, if you will: triglycerides, phospholipids, and cholesterol. And then the triglycerides, the ones everybody knows about, come in short, medium, and long sizes. The three fats, you really don't think, most of us think of the triglycerides when we think of fats, but cholesterol, as probably most of you guys know, is part of the fat family, I guess you could say. And then the unbelievably important phospholipids. Phospholipids are life. Yes, cholesterol is very important for helping us handle stress, that's for sure, but phospholipids are life. The phospholipids are what allow a cell to exist. Without phospholipids, there would be no cells. Phospholipids separate the water from the fat. Think about it. A cell is made up of water, mostly. The vast majority of it is water. And then somehow there's a layer on top of that water that keeps everything in place. There are actually some people who believe, there are actually some very legitimate scientists who believe that the water is held in place through electrostatic forces itself. It's like a little magnet. All the molecules inside this water are like little magnets, and they all pull to each other, and that's how it's held in place. And that's a very legitimate theory, but we're not going to go there. We'll just say that this blob of water is somehow held in place by a membrane that surrounds it and separates it from the rest of the world. The rest of the planet is 70% water, and somehow these little blobs of water have had to separate from the watery planet that we live on. And they've been separated by a little membrane of fat. But here's the question. How is it that fat, if oil and water don't mix, how is it that a fat can surround water? Oil and water don't mix. They shouldn't be interacting with each other, right? There's a little miracle that's happening here. If oil and water don't mix, everybody knows that. How is it that the cell, which is a little blob of water, can interact with a layer of fat? They're not supposed to mix. Well, there's magic that takes place at the membrane, as we've said. Magic always takes place at the membrane, and in cells and in cell membrane is no different. The connector, the little adapter that allows the fat to connect up with the water, is called a phospholipid. Phospholipids are responsible for all cells and more than cells. There's a very important health marker that's basically a phospholipid that everybody knows about. We haven't measured all the time. We'll talk about that when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got lines open at 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products, longevity business, a health challenge you or a loved one may be dealing with, or True Skin Health products, a success story you'd like to share, if you want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number on the bright side. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised on the program, call 866-735-2470 or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you'd like to check out our Truth Skin Health products, go to truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, we are talking about fats. And by the way, all the stuff about phospholipids and cells and membranes, I find it very fascinating. Hopefully some of you find it fascinating too. But you know what? You don't need to know all of this stuff about the chemistry. The basic idea is that phospholipids are important and you want to eat them. The best place to get your phospholipids is eggs, and this makes one of the reasons why eggs are an unbelievable power food, and you don't really hear about the lecithin or the phospholipid content of eggs as much as you should. By the way, phospholipids are found in lecithin. So anything that has lecithin in it is like a little phospholipid supplement. It's like a little concentrated phospholipid. Lecithin is a concentrated phospholipid. It's a bunch of phospholipids. It's nature's way of carrying around phospholipids, and that's why lecithin is everywhere, because phospholipids are everywhere. We think of lecithin, we think of food. Most of us anyway, or if you're listening to this program, you think of the digestive system. Bile is composed of phospholipids, so bile is composed of lecithin. So phospholipids make up lecithin, and lecithin makes up bile. And if you have an opportunity to take in bile in a supplement, that's another way to get your phospholipids. Phospholipids are measured in a diagnostic test that everybody knows about, but nobody ever says that they're phospholipids. You see, cholesterol and triglycerides, they're fatty. They can't circulate around the blood very well. So just like the fats and water in a cell shouldn't be interacting with each other, cholesterol and triglycerides shouldn't be interacting with the blood, because oil and water don't mix. Oil and water don't mix is a fundamental principle. Oil and water don't mix. And you can think of oil as being fats. You can say fat and water don't mix. So how is it that cholesterol and triglycerides travel around in the blood if their oil and water don't mix? They shouldn't float around in the blood. They should clump up. They shouldn't be able to suspend and hang around in the blood. They shouldn't be able to travel in the blood. How is it that the watery inside of a cell can connect with the outside part of a cell when the outside part of a cell is fat and the inside part of a cell is water? They shouldn't interact the same way. Well, guess what? The same way that nature has figured out how to allow oil and water to interact in a cell and allow cholesterol, it also allows cholesterol and triglycerides to interact with the blood. And that mechanism is an adapter, a chemical adapter that hooks the two together, that hooks oil and water together. And that's why it's so important. That's why phospholipids are so important, because this little adapter is nothing but a phospholipid. Phospholipids are chemical adapters. In chemistry, we say they're amphiphilic. Fat-soluble is lipophilic. Water-soluble is hydrophilic. Philic meaning loving, hydro meaning water, lipo meaning fat. So a fatty molecule is lipophilic. It's fat-loving. A hydrophilic molecule is water-loving. And an amphiphilic molecule is both. And amphiphilic molecules are incredibly important because they pull oil and water together. That's why they help you digest your food. That's why they're in bile. They pull oil and water together. Bile is loaded with these amphiphilic compounds. Cell membranes are loaded with these amphiphilic compounds. And a very, very interesting, fascinating molecule that floats around in your blood and carries around cholesterol and triglycerides is nothing more than the cholesterol and triglycerides wrapped around in an amphiphilic molecule. Phospholipids. We call them LDL and HDL and VLDL. When they measure your LDL, they're measuring the phospholipid. They're not measuring the cholesterol. They're not measuring the triglyceride. They're measuring the phospholipid, which is why LDL tests and HDL tests are just a bunch of hooey, among other reasons. There's other reasons why it's a bunch of hooey. They're not even measuring your cholesterol. HDL cholesterol is phospholipid. LDL cholesterol is phospholipid, supposedly carrying around cholesterol. By the way, HDL is the heavy stuff, and that's got more protein in it. They call these things lipoproteins. Very low HDL, high-density lipoprotein. The lipoproteins that have more protein than lipo are heavy. The lipoproteins that have more lipo than protein are lighter. Anyway, phospholipids, unbelievably important. Eat your phospholipids every day. Eat phospholipids. When you're eating your eggs, you're eating phospholipids. When you're eating legumes and beans and soy is another great source of phospholipids. Probably next to eggs, the best source of phospholipids is soy. Legumes in general, you'll get phospholipids in pretty much all veggies, all produce, veggies, eggs, meat. Phospholipids are just part of nature. Eat your eggs, though. That's the best source of phospholipids. Interestingly, phospholipids, because they help you make LDL and HDL, can actually help you transport cholesterol more effectively, and that means the eggs can actually be good for your cholesterol. They can help you utilize your cholesterol more effectively and store your cholesterol more effectively. So your other fat is the triglycerides. We talked a lot about the triglycerides in the last few days. It's got more to say. The way we eat triglycerides has changed dramatically in the last since the 1950s, since the advent of the lipid hypothesis. All of a sudden, we started to eat a lot more unsaturated fats, particularly omega-6 fats. Unsaturated fats are very unstable. You got to be really careful with your unsaturated fats, your unsaturated triglycerides. Lard is very stable. Coconut oil is very stable. Butter is very stable. Margarine is made with very unstable fats. In fact, I can think of there are probably processed foods that are as bad, but I don't think there's any processed foods that are worse for us than margarine. Margarine is one of the earliest examples of processed food. It may be, if it's not the first example of an industrially processed food, it is sure near the top of the list. I don't know what would predate margarine. Margarine, as the story goes, was developed in the early 19th century by Napoleon, or scientists who worked for Napoleon. There was a big butter shortage in early 19th century France. They were doing the early 1800s in France was a very, very bad time. It was, if you've ever seen Les Mis, you know what I'm talking about. It was a really bad time, and poverty was, the whole country, except for the monarchy, of course, the country was just saturated with poverty. And anyway, they ran out of butter, and Napoleon ran a contest to see who could come up with a cheap butter alternative, and the winner was this French biochemist. This was the very early days of chemistry, and the winner was this French biochemist. He called his product oleomargarine, we still hear the term today, oleomargarine, which means pearl fat. In Greek, oleo means fat, margar, I believe, means pearl. It means pearl fat. The initial versions of margarine looked pearly, apparently. And the first margarines were not very tasty at all. They came from beef fat. They didn't taste good. They didn't look good. The stuff was really not very popular. Remember, this was the beginnings of industrial chemistry. All right, we're going to take a break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. I'll probably continue the story tomorrow on The Bright Side. We'll come back with your phone calls. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. We are back on The Bright Side. Pharmacist Ben here. 844-236-6010 is our number. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, 10 to 11 Central, and 24/7 on the archive pages at benfuchsarchives.com and brightsideben.com. We've got search engines as well as 7+ years of archives at both websites, brightsideben.com and benfuchsarchives.com. That's benfuchsarchives.com and brightsideben.com. And you can purchase your longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. All right, we got a couple lines open, 844-236-6010. And if you're on hold, hang on. Just want to do one story here, because I think this is important. From Science Advances, the journal Science Advances, non-smoking doesn't mean smoke-free. Third-hand smoke persists and spreads indoors with help from aerosol particles. Despite decades of indoor smoking bans and restrictions, new research from Drexel University suggests the toxins we've been trying to keep out are still finding their way into into the air inside. Findings by a group of environmental engineers show that third-hand smoke, the chemical residue from cigarette smoke that attaches to anything and anyone in the vicinity of a smoke cloud, can make its way into the air and circulate through buildings when no one is smoking. Smoking is very bad. It's the single worst thing a human being can do to themselves, and everybody gets to do whatever they want, of course, but if you're around cigarette smoke, if you're around smokers, you know the smell when somebody walks in from smoking a cigarette, walks into the room, even stands next to you. They don't know it. They're used to it, but you know it. That's the stuff that's sticking to their bodies. That same stuff sticks to your lungs. It sticks to the smeller's lungs, the one who's inhaling it. And it sticks to the buildings. I remember I bought a pharmacy about in the early 1990s. I bought a pharmacy, and it was from an old guy who had been in the pharmacy this was 1993, and he'd been in there since 1963. So he'd been there 30 years, and he was a smoker. And he smoked in the pharmacy. And I remember having to clean the pharmacy when I bought me and another friend. We bought the pharmacy, and actually him and his wife did the cleaning, but I helped a little bit. And oh my God, you wouldn't believe what came off the walls. That same sticky stuff is what we breathe when we breathe secondhand smoke and thirdhand smoke. This is not to make anyone feel guilty for smoking, but it's just to say that if you are breathing cigarette smoke, if you're smoking, of course, it's true also, but if you're breathing secondhand smoke, you might want to consider using nutritional supplements if you're not. And if you're on nutritional supplements, you're doing yourself a world of good. Vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, these are all very important for protecting yourself from cigarette smoke. And by the way, topically as well, if you're working in a bar, you're in bars, or you're in an area where there's lots of people smoking all the time, you're exposing your skin to toxins from cigarette smoke. You're accelerating your skin aging, which is why you want to use topical vitamin C, which is why you want to use our Truth Transdermal C Serum and Truth Transdermal C Balm if you're going to be around cigarette smoke, even if you're not, but especially if you're going to be around a lot of cigarette smoke. And by the way, if you're smoking cigarettes, you lose vitamin C with every cigarette. So after you smoke, you might want to consider doing a little tiny bit, at least, of some vitamin C, 100 milligrams or so, at least. And you might want to consider swishing your mouth with the vitamin C as well to help detoxify your oral tissue. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Alaska and say good morning to our friend Elaine. What's up, Elaine?
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me all right?
I hear you great. What's going on?
Oh, just a little testimonial. I don't know how much time we have, and then I have a question.
Always time for a testimonial.
Well, I'll hear you talk about give someone, especially if they're older, give them some tangy tangerine, and you might change their life. So there is, he's a Walmart greeter, and he's 89.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's so positive, but I didn't see him for a couple months, and then there he was, and he looked a little ashen, a little weak, and I was talking to him, and he said he was having some heart problems, but anyway, his birthday was coming up. Actually, he was 88, so he was going to be 89, and I thought, you know what, just give him some tangerine. I know it sounds crazy. So what I do with my business is I've had little stickers made that are professionally made with the phone number on there to reorder. So I just slapped a sticker on there, gave it to him, wished him a happy birthday, and, lo and behold, here he is calling back, wanting to order more because it's helpful.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
So thank you for...
well, you know what that demonstrates? A fundamental principle in nutritional supplementation, which is the more deficient you are in nutrients, the faster your body absorbs them. That's a principle. That's a fundamental fact, and because most of us are so deficient, as soon as you put supplements into the body, especially in the dense form and in the liquid form that you get with the BTT, the density and the liquid nature, they go right to work and quickly. And that for older folks, because the brain is burning through nutrients, folks with dementia, folks with cognitive issues or learning difficulties or memory problems, it doesn't have to be full-blown dementia, benefits so dramatically, you'll literally change somebody's life, and that is so important. Congratulations. Thanks for sharing that, and that's a brownie point for you when you meet your maker, when you meet the maker, as they say. That's a brownie point for you for sure.
And you as well, but I have a question on there's probiotics in tangy tangerines. So should I be refrigerating my tangy?
No. You don't need to refrigerate all probiotics, by the way. Some of them are protected. And no, that's not necessary.
Okay.
But don't consider it to be a source of probiotics. There are probiotics in there for sure. But you still need to take your nightly essence and eat your fermented foods for sure.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go have some yerba mate tea right now. So
I'm doing it right now.
right.
We'll drink it together. All right. Good deal. Okay. Bye. Thanks, Elaine. Bye-bye. All right. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Jeremy in New York. Good morning, Jeremy.
Hey, good morning, Ben.
Hey.
I've been, since about November last year, been kind of dealing with some tachycardia, and it's kind of getting irritating. So
I bet it is. How old are you?
27.
Oh, my gosh. You're a kid. What the heck's going on there? So for the listeners, tachycardia, tachy means fast, cardia means heart rate or heart. Basically, your heart rate is just, heart goes crazy, beating like crazy. So describe it a little bit, Jeremy, for somebody who's never had tachycardia.
I mean, my resting heart rate, sometimes is around like 100. You can kind of feel it jumping in your chest. And, when you even something simple as walking upstairs in your house, you kind of feel it climb to about 120, 130, and you just kind of get tired real easy.
What is it psychologically kind of freak you out?
Yeah, when it first started happening, it was, and it, kind of has its stats of it, but, just get real tired easy.
All right, so let's talk about tachycardia. Tachycardia, the heart's beating really fast. It has two main causes. Number one, the stress hormone cortisol. And number two, a lack of oxygen. Those are the two main reasons, and they're linked. Lack of oxygen and elevated cortisol go hand in hand, which tells you something very important. Okay? And lets you play medical detective here. The two main reasons why your heart will go crazy like that are the stress hormone cortisol and hypoxia, low blood oxygen, and they're both related. So what do you think a great solution to slow your heart down would be?
Deep breathing.
Oh, bingo. Hang on, Jeremy. I'll give you some more ideas, too. But that's exactly SDR breathing. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. On the bright side, 844-236-6010 is our number. We're talking to Jeremy in, see if I can get Jeremy back here. Jeremy in New York. Where in New York are you, Jeremy?
Buffalo, New York.
Oh, Buffalo. All right. Awesome. I lived in Syracuse for 4 years, back in the 80s, back in the 70s. Oh, my God. Hey, so tachycardia, heart beating really fast. Stress, cortisol, stress hormone, hypoxia is the number one stress. Any other health issues, by the way? Diabetes? How's your weight? Are you on any drugs? Drinking a lot of alcohol?
Yeah, I guess.
Doing cocaine? That'll do it.
I got type 1 diabetes and I got hypothyroidism, I guess.
Oh, dude, you didn't tell me that. No, you got some issues. You're 27, my friend. Let's get going here. Okay. You got youth on your side, so all is good. I started
the ketogenic diet back in April to get my sugars down. I got my A1C down from like 9.5 to 6.2. So
good for you. Good for you. Here's the thing: if you want to do it in one fell swoop, take care of everything. You definitely want to do the SDR breathing because the tachycardia puts a stress on the heart that you don't want. But to take care of the diabetes and the hypothyroidism, and I'm sure you got other things going on too, you got to get to the bottom of the food. No buffalo wings.
Oh no, sir.
Don't be eating any buffalo wings. So, but really, I'm partially teasing about the buffalo wings, but really, you got to have zero tolerance. You're too young for this. And with all due respect, what's up ahead is not pretty for you if you don't take corrective measures now. Good news is you're young, so you could turn this thing around. Type 1 diabetes, autoimmune disease, that tells me that you've had a digestive issue probably since you were born or shortly thereafter. All autoimmune diseases need to be backtracked, but particularly type 1 diabetes has to do with things that happen really early in life. When were you diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic?
3 years old.
Yeah, there you go. So that means that you were predisposed either from something that happened when you were in utero or early, maybe dairy, or maybe from your mom's breast milk, it could have been. But you were predisposed. And by the way, when I say predisposed, I don't mean it was like a genetic disease. People will say it's genetic. Yeah, it's genetic in the sense that genes are involved, but it's not genetic in the sense that genes are the cause. Genes are involved, but they're not the cause. At least they're not the original cause. They're kind of like the way it shows up, but usually it's a nutritional deficiency that takes place in the womb in combination with toxicity. The genes just don't develop as they should. In any case, have zero tolerance for any foods that spike your blood sugar or that cause digestive distress. I'm talking zero tolerance. Get on the sweeties. Get on the Fuchs Z in addition to the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I would be using the Healthy Start Pack, getting it today and never getting off of it for the rest of my life if I were you. Take extra Ultimate EFAs, 9 a day. Make sure you're throwing some Ultimate Selenium as well. And I would be using the Nightly Essence as well as digestive enzymes with your meals, and then Nightly Essence every day. If you could take 9 capsules a day, that would be great. But you can do this, Jeremy, and don't forget the SDR, slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. And you're 27, you can do it, and you should be doing it. All right.
All right. One more quick question. I got put on Armour thyroid. I just wonder if that was.
It's silly. It's silly. It's a little better, but it's silly. That's not your problem. It's not. It's just silly. Thyroid medication is silly. Dispensed by silly medical professionals and taken, unfortunately, by people who believe the silly medical professionals. The problem is not. You may get a little buzz from some Synthroid every now and again, or a little buzz from your thyroid. But how long have you been on the thyroid hormone?
Probably since I was like 14.
Has it changed your life?
No, sir.
Of course not. I want anybody who's out there listening to call me up if you're on Synthroid or Armour Thyroid and tell me that it's changed your life, that you got on it. It's the dumbest drug. And I don't say the dumbest because there are a lot of dumb drugs. And every year it's in the top 10 best-selling drugs, by the way. All right, Jeremy, God bless you. Good luck. I hope everything works out. All right, let's go to Steve in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Yay, I love Hot Springs, Arkansas, except not this time of year, probably. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, Ben. Hey, I'm having some gallbladder issues that I wanted to ask. I heard you mention the other day about what to take, and it didn't catch it all.
All right, get on the Ultimate Enzymes. Gallbladder surgery in a bottle.
Okay, because that's what I want to
apple
avoid.
cider vinegar with your Use apple cider vinegar with your Ultimate Enzymes. Go to the health food store and get some extra lecithin granules. Take them every day, a couple times a day if you can. Make sure you're eating lots of eggs too. And look for problem foods that mess up your gallbladder. Stay away from those foods. And you probably want to start throwing in some fatty nutrients. Vitamin A, vitamin E, zinc, your Ultimate Selenium, which is a fatty mineral. It wouldn't hurt you to throw in some vitamin K either. And definitely the Nightly Essence, as well as using fiber. Make your own fiber every day. Either use vegetable juices to get your fiber, like Vitamix, or just make your own fresh fiber with flax seeds and a coffee grinder. Fiber and the intestine are very important for the health of the liver and the gallbladder. The health of the intestine is. All right?
Okay. Do you have an opinion on Jillian juice?
On what kind of juice?
Fermented cabbage juice, where you blend the cabbage and water and salt.
Oh yeah. What did you call it?
A Jillian juice is what I called it.
A Jillian? How do you spell that?
Jillin. It's a lady that came out or made it popular again.
Oh, she calls it Jillian juice?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know what it was. I want Jillian to come on my radio show if you talk to her. Tell her to give me have her contact me somehow. Ben@ksco.com. Yeah, Jillian has a food truck in Hot Springs, Arkansas. For the listeners, Jillian has a food truck in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and she does just raw food. Is that right? Did I say that right, Mike? Steve?
Yes.
So yeah, if Jillian is making it, it's good for you. That's a good advertisement right there. If Jillian is making it, it's good for you. She does, and fermented cabbage juice is great for everybody. All right.
Okay.
All right. Tell Jillian I said hi, by the way.
Will do. Thank you, man.
Take care, Steve. Bye-bye. All right, let's go to Michael in Kansas. Good morning, Michael. What's up, buddy? Let's see if I get Michael here. Hey, Michael.
Yep.
What's up?
Well, got some old people purple marks on my purple stuff on my arms, and I know we need to get to the root cause, but is there also any way
did you say old people?
Yeah.
Like those old people marks on your arms?
Yeah, the purple spots. You hit something, don't even know it, and then get a
What do you think
purple
that's about?
I don't know.
What that's about? It's about blood vessels. It's about blood vessels that are fragile. And the blood vessels become fragile for two reasons. Number one, toxicity, and number two, deficiency. So you got to take care of the toxicity and the deficiency. I'll tell you about the toxicity first, but you got to do them both together. Excuse me. The toxicity is going to come in through food. So if you have any digestive issues, you got to get to the bottom of those. Toxicity will lead to inflammation, and inflammation will weaken the blood vessels. And by the way, if it's happening in the extremities, in the skin where you see it, it's happening inside your body too. So you're just seeing it on the outside. It's nothing to be trifled with. You call it old people. I think that's kind of cute because that's just a sign of breakdown, long-term breakdown. And that's why it happens as we get older. As far as, so stay away from any foods that cause toxicity. And that means foods that cause digestive distress, eat less food, and then get on a supplement program that can build those blood vessels up. Vitamin C is your best friend. So I'd be doing high doses of vitamin C, go to what's called bowel tolerance, which means you go to the point where you get crampy and bloaty. When you get crampy and bloaty, you took too much. You can divide the doses around, and that can help too. As much vitamin C as you can handle. Use ascorbic acid. Use the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Healthy Start Pack. You need all around nutrients. I'd be taking 9 of the Ultimate EFAs. They play a very important role in keeping your blood vessels healthy. And also, I'd be getting extra vitamin K. I use vitamin K2. You can also make sure that you're eating lots of fermented food, which will get you all the good bacteria, and will also get you some vitamin K there, and it will help your own bacteria make vitamin K. So vitamin K is very important. Vitamin E probably would be a good idea. 400 IU a day. Zinc picolinate, 50 milligrams a day of zinc picolinate. If you want to throw in a few extra things, throw in the Fucoid Z, which may not help you directly with the blood vessels, but it will help you with your blood. The Fucoid Z is like a blood tonic. But you got to focus on building connective tissue. Also, bone broth protein. Don't want to forget that. Or bone broth. You got to focus on building connective tissue because the blood vessels are made of connective tissue. I think I hear the music in the background, and that means we're out of time. Thanks, Michael. Hope I helped you out. And thanks for listening to The Bright Side, friends. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Please check out our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for all the longevity products. And then also TruthTreatments.com for our Truth Skin Health products. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.